everyone, Daneska here. Welcome back to Waiting Makes You Whole, where I talk about my wholeness journey through inspirational videos and relevant information on how I'm becoming the best version of myself. And that doesn't happen overnight. So in this video, I wanted to talk about why baby step number 3 was my baby step number 1. Maybe you guys have heard, and if you haven't, I shared a video on the His and Her Money podcast, and I talked about how my debt-free journey was a little bit different than other people because the Lord gave me a dream. So the dream was that I was trying to clock into work, and I was using my badge to clock in, and for some reason I could not clock in. And then out of nowhere, as I'm still trying to clock in, I see this big pair of scissors cut my badge from the string, and I was like, what does that mean, and why did I have that dream? So I prayed. I was reading a book, Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shire. I prayed about it and asked the Lord, what do you mean? What does this mean? And he showed me that I was no longer going to be with my company. So I was like, I have all this debt. I really don't have a savings, and I need to get my act together. And so the reason why I chose baby step number 3, which is to save 3 to 6 months of your expenses in case, disaster happens, I did that first because I knew I was going to lose my job. Now, I know that during COVID, there's been so many job losses, so many things that's happening. But when I lost my job, to be honest, there was no eviction diversion programs. There were no mortgage relief funds. There were no stimulus checks. So there was no way, and there was no money coming from family members either. So I had to figure this out. Another thing was that I've also been through childhood trauma to where I was taken away from my mom as a teenager, and I lived in shelters, and I lived in group homes, and I know how it feels to be without. And I never ever wanted my children to ever go through that. And as you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, I am a single mother of 2 children, and I have to make sure that they're okay as well. So instead of saving $1,000 in emergency funds, I had to make sure my household was covered. And so these are the 3 things that I'm going to leave you with today. Number 1, what I used and what I applied to my home was that I made sure that my 4 walls were covered. Dave Ramsey does teach this, that before you pay off your debt, make sure that your 4 walls are covered monthly. And that's food, all of your utilities, your shelter, your rent, and then your transportation. So that was my car payment, that was my car insurance, that was gas, that was everything within the household to make sure that we can function and live okay. I saved 3 to 6 months of all of those expenses before I got out of debt. Number 2 is you have to sacrifice. You have to say no to a lot of things and cut back on a lot of expenses. So I cut out my phone bill, which was $130. My car insurance, I left Geico, and I decided to go with a no brand name insurance because it was like maybe $70 at the time with everything covered under it. There was just a lot of things that I cut back on because I was like, we need to make sure that we're going to be okay and that we're not going to be in the street. Okay? That was my attitude. Number 3, the third thing I wanted to say is replenish. Life is gonna happen. Life happened to me. I needed a root canal. And it was more than $1,000. I had to take from my emergency fund and get that root canal done because it was causing a lot of pain and a lot of headache. So I got that done, and then I replenished that money and put it back in. You're gonna go through emergencies. It's gonna happen. But be disciplined and replenish those funds. You can do it. Trust me, if I could do this with 2 children and a dog, you could do this as well. And again, I didn't have any other help. I just decided it was time to make a change. and it's never too late to decide to make a change. You can do it. God bless you guys. Subscribe to my channel for more inspirational videos, and I hope that this does help you in your debt-free journey. And again, I also wanted to be true to my story and why I chose to do it the way I did. So take care, and I'll see you soon.